What's going on, everyone? Today we have to go over Bitcoin. As you can see, Bitcoin has been kind of, rallying a little bit, kind of having a bounce back, like a relief rally, but I don't think this is the official relief rally. I think the actual relief rally might get us all the way up to 100K. So everyone has been talking about relief rally, but I don't think this is it. I think we're actually in for another pullback here because we are in a descending channel, But anyways, we're going to talk about that today, guys. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Let's get straight into it. And at the end of the video, we're going to be going and doing a technical analysis on NVDA for a member of the channel. So big shout out to you for requesting that video and for being a member. And shout out to all the members out there. Go ahead and get those requests in. But let's go ahead and cover Bitcoin. As you can see here, like I was saying before, Bitcoin is in a descending channel now. The descending channel is kind of it's kind of like a contradicting channel, right? Because a lot of people are tied up on this, right? Some people seem to think it's bullish, some people seem to think it's bearish. I believe that it is bearish, and I believe after the descending channel, there is a possibility it could break out though. So that is one thing with the descending channel. Like at the end of it, it could break to the upside or it could break to the downside, right? But typically they usually end up coming to the downside a little bit. But my thing here is with this one, I've been predicting since the like June or something like that. Actually earlier, honestly, April or something like that. I don't know. I've been predicting though that Bitcoin will eventually come down to 85K, because at 85K, it would be a 32% drop. And I know I talk about it all the time, but I have to because we have new people that don't know anything about this and are new to the channel. So if you look at this though, 32% drop at the first peak of this bull rally in 2024, followed by a bull flag. Then you'll see another 32% in the next bull rally, followed by a falling wedge. Falling wedge is a bullish pattern, by the way. So it gets to the bottom of it, boom, breaks out. And then if we go down to 85K for this rally, then boom, that is the third 32% drop if we go to 85K. Now for this one, it was a little different. We had a bearish expanding triangle, as you can see here, and that caused us to break down. And then we got into a falling wedge, but the falling wedge came a little too early, and then we kept dropping from there. And now the MACD is showing so much selling pressure. Like this is a lot of selling pressure, And also we can see here on the %R trend exhaustion for the weekly chart. I've been tracking this one forever. You can see the short-term trend has already bottomed and the long-term trend is almost bottomed out. So once we finally hit 85K, you might see the short-term trend actually curving a little bit sideways as the long-term trend is now hitting here. And then as the short-term trend starts to come up, you'll start to see the long-term trend hitting as well. And that will be exactly what causes the relief rally that everyone is talking about. So this is called the %R trend exhaustion, and you can get this indicator. It's completely free. It's made by Upslide Down, but it's completely free, and you can get it on TradingView. So just so people know what I'm using. And if you go to the weekly chart of Bitcoin, you're going to see this pattern here. So if we break this and we continue downwards, that means no relief rally, and we go from 85K down to 75K. Or 74K technically, because that was the peak of the last bull run. And if you come all the way back here, you will see the peak of, well, not the last bull run. The last bull run was really like 68K, but of the first rally of this, let's say semester, right? Like it's a school or something. So the rally of the first semester, right? And you can see here, that was about 74K. So if we break here on the %R trend exhaustion, then that means we go down to 74K, right? But if we don't do that and we come here and boom, start going up, that means that we stop at 85K. All right. So that is what we're looking at right now. We have went all the way down to what price was that? We were at like 88K. So yeah, we already went down pretty low, all the way down to 88K. So that definitely sucks. But I think that we could come down to 85K very soon. And we have this %R trend exhaustion kind of backing us up on that. Now, as for the MACD on the smaller charts here on the 4-hour chart, you can see very little buying and very little selling, just very little volume altogether. Like this is very, very like small right here. So yeah, it's interesting to see, but it's not a lot of volume, which means it could easily drop. So 85K should be coming soon here for Bitcoin. Again, this is a descending channel. There's a possibility that it could bounce up to the upside at the end of this channel, or there's a possibility that we break the channel a little bit early and then continue to go down. But I think at this pace, we're probably not going to do that. Eventually, it's going to end up breaking. But hopefully, when it does, it gets down here and then stops, right? Hopefully, it comes all the way down to like here and then breaks out, because we don't want to see this, because if that happens, then the next support is all the way at about 74K. Well, the next strong support, that is. So we're going to have to wait and see. There's also a little bit of support here at 83K. So there is a possibility it could go a little below 85. So also take that into account as well. But yeah, that's pretty much what we got for Bitcoin right now. I'm going to keep you guys updated. But yeah, we should have that pullback coming in here pretty soon. So yeah, that's what we got there for Bitcoin. And now also, we also have to talk about NVIDIA, because shout out to the member of the channel. He requested, he wanted me to go over NVIDIA, and NVIDIA just had their earnings report, and their earnings report was actually really good. So a lot of things have actually rallied based off of their earnings report. So as you can see here, NVIDIA is in a sort of a weird pattern. And the stock market is a whole lot different than the crypto market, guys. Just know that the stock market is a whole lot different. It's a lot harder for the manipulation, but they still manipulate it. It's just the manipulation isn't at the same rate, because in like crypto, they can completely manipulate it. But in the stock market, you know, they have to really corner it inside on a certain day or a certain time of the week. But in the crypto market, they can do it whenever. But in the stock market, they have to do it at certain times, like around earnings times, around Fed meetings and stuff like that. They can manipulate it like that. So they have to kind of do it a little bit structured. But anyways, we just broke out to the upside here. This right here is a bullish symmetrical triangle, as you can see here, because we came into it from an uptrend. So that means it's a bullish symmetrical triangle. So, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, it's the earnings that made it pump. Yes and no, but the technicals were on its side. Now, if it had bad earnings, it would have dumped, and then it would have been a validated bullish symmetrical triangle, right? It would have been invalidated and it became bearish, even though it came into it from an uptrend. But it came into it from an uptrend, so it's already a bullish symmetrical triangle, and we had a good earnings report, so it definitely popped off. So right now, pre-market, we're seeing that NVIDIA stopped right here at this resistance. I can notice it just by looking at it, because this resistance here, we hit it earlier inside of October, so we hit that resistance. So the next area for NVIDIA to stop at, we also got to think about it like this. Like, there's not that many resistance levels above this area, because this is the first time that we're seeing NVIDIA at this price pretty much. So, you know, if you look at it, NVIDIA is definitely at its all-time highs. So if we are to actually, you know, track like what's happening next, we only have previous areas that we've already hit as a reference. So that's technically a resistance. That's technically a resistance. And up here, the double top, that was technically a resistance. And you could have known that it was actually about to crash if you would have had this chart right here. So take a screenshot of this, because this is the bearish double top. Also, all I did was type in chart patterns on Google, and I found a random chart. And I use this chart every video now. So you can do the same exact thing. Both of these charts are on Google. You can just type in chart patterns. This one, I think you just type in wedge patterns, and it'll come up. Like chart patterns trading, and it'll come up. So you can use these for reference for yourself too. But yeah, that's a bearish double top. And, you know, sometimes I forget, you know, sometimes I look at it and I'm like, oh, but then you look at this and you're like, oh, wait, that's a bearish double top, right? So that's exactly what happened here with this one. This was a bearish double top. So it crashed. And now we are going through this symmetrical triangle. So since we just came out of the pre-market, you know, we're probably going to go a few levels higher and then pull back. So it's at 195. We might end up at 202 and then pulling back from there. because we're not completely out of the woodworks yet. So we could end up going up to 202, pulling back, and then continuing. But it's a lot different than the crypto market. You can't really track the stock market as well as the crypto market for certain reasons, such as manipulation, like I was saying before. But also the percent R trend exhaustion. This is why I like this. This is why I like this indicator. You can come to the percent R trend exhaustion, and you can literally find patterns here. So I don't know if you notice what I'm doing yet, but what I'm doing here is tracking a pattern. This is what the pattern is looking like so far. And you'll see what I'm doing in a second here. Starts here. This is on the 30-minute chart for NVDA. And then where is the third pattern? This is the third. So it's a little bit untraditional, right? You're not going to really see people doing stuff like this, but typically we follow patterns everywhere inside of technical analysis for stocks or crypto, whatever. The short-term trend, which is the white line, is about to get rejected. Possibly, right? Because last time it was overextended. The red here indicates that it's overbought and overextended to the upside. It hasn't done that yet. So there is a possibility that it could break out. So if we see that breakout, that is going to be bullish. And that at that point, we'll see us continuing to climb higher. But if it gets rejected here and comes down here and then does something similar and comes down here, then you'll see the price drops once again. So that's something that you can pay attention to when it comes to NVIDIA. So anyways, that's just one of the ways that I like to track things, looking at the percent R trend exhaustion. But yeah, let's go to the 4-hour chart. And also stocks are at their all-time high. So I would definitely say be careful when you're looking at these stocks. They're all at their all-time highs. So also we're kind of seeing a bounce back of the percent R trend exhaustion here. But yeah, as you can see, it looks a lot less structured than the Bitcoin chart. Like when you look at it, it just looks crazy because there's stock open, there's market open, market close every day. So you have random spike, not random, but you have those spikes at the beginning and end of each day. That makes it a lot more difficult to track because it's not open 24 hours a day. You can see here a lot of selling pressure. Looks like it might have a reversal soon. So when it comes to stocks, doing a long-term technical analysis on it, it doesn't really make sense in my personal opinion, honestly. So for stocks, I typically like to do a short-term technical analysis. So when you see me talking about it, it's all short-term because it's hard to really know where it's going to go because of the manipulation. Like there's a lot of manipulation in Bitcoin, but in crypto, but it's a little bit different. It's different manipulation because the market closes, but the crypto market doesn't. But anyways, the short-term trend has dropped here too. The long-term trend has dropped here too on the daily chart. They both look like they might curve back upwards. So we might have an increase in the price, like I was saying before, up here to about 202 and then another pullback, or it might just start pulling back now, like at market open. So we could also pay attention to that. But yeah, I can't really predict where it's going to go, honestly. So for stocks, it's better to look at it from the short term. But when you look at the weekly chart, everything is overbought. So I'm expecting some type of 10, 20, 30% drop overall in the stock market. So if I were to look at it holistically, instead of just looking at, the short-term charts, when you look at it holistically from the long-term point of view, we are very overbought, but we could stay overbought for a very long time. For instance, if you would have thought that this was just going to dump, you would have missed out on a huge pump. Right here, it could dump, or it might not, and you might miss out on a huge pump. So that's the thing with stocks. With stocks, that it just keeps running and running and running and running and running and running down 30%, running and running, running down 30%. But crypto, it comes in cycles, so we can track it a lot easier. But stocks, it just goes and yeah, it just keeps running. So it's hard to tell when the stock market is about to dump, because right now it might look like it because it's overextended, overbought, and all that. But it could easily rebound and go up another 30%. and then easily drop 30. So yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, this is pretty much all I got for you guys today. Definitely hit the like button and subscribe, all that good stuff. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor, none of this financial advice. Shout out to the member of the channel that wanted me to go over NVDA. And again, if I were gonna be looking at NVDA, I would say get ready for a 30, let's say 10 to 20% drop. Get ready for a 10 to 20% drop here on NVIDIA, and on stocks in general. It's going to pull everything down. That's just how it's looking for me. I mean, it might not do that. And there's a reason why I only do short-term stock predictions, because the stock market is just unpredictable for me. I can predict the crypto market, but the stock market, I keep it short-term. But I feel like it needs a 30% drop. Look, overextended on the percent R trend exhaustion, overbought on the weekly chart here. And then when you come over here to the MACD, it looks like some selling pressure is coming in. So this should pull back. So I would say look for like a 20% drop. If I were to have to say a price range, let's scroll out a little bit. The bottom of the previous drop was 90. I don't think it'll go that low. I think it'll go all the way down to the top of the previous top. So if we are to go down from here, and I know I'm all over the place with this prediction here, but a little unconventional. We'll go all the way down to about $145. So I would say put $145 on your radar. That's a 20% drop from where we are now. That's a 30% drop from the top. And in the stock market, anything after a 30% drop is considered a bear market. So this is going to be NVIDIA's bear market, because from the all-time highs, it's going down 30% down to 145. So look at 145. I wouldn't try to do puts or anything like that, because anything can happen, and it's just, I wouldn't do it right now. I wouldn't mess with it. I do puts, but I do puts on day trading. I wouldn't hold any puts overnight, because you can get screwed over easily. And yeah, you don't want to do that. But it is time for NVIDIA to pull back. But yeah, we'll see how far it pulls back. I think $145 is a good area to look for. Another support area on the way down there, which it could stop and then recover from there, would be $165. That was support as well. So watch out for that as well. But anyway, shout out to you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor, none of this financial advice. And as always, I'll be back with another video.